Hello, my name is Brayton Dorr, and this is my Chapter 8 assignment. So for this week, we had to look at a company and then tell about the prices in comparative countries to the United States. So I was given the Nike shoe brand. Personally, just quick thoughts, not a big fan of the Nike shoe. I think it's a highly overrated company that is mainly driven by a sport I'm not interested in. However, they're a very, very big company, very important company in the world, so go ahead and cover them. So the United States actually sits right about in the middle of the 108 countries that the website down below lists. So the United States sits, now that I've lost it, the United States sits 42nd of the 108 countries listed as far as most expensive. So one being the cheapest, 108 being the most expensive. The United States is about 42nd with 77.07 US dollars being the average. This is actually more expensive than some bigger countries like Russia, for example, or not necessarily big but highly populated countries like Brazil or India. The three countries it's cheapest are Ghana, Kenya, and Nepal. Ghana and Kenya are very poor African countries with not the world's best infrastructure, a lot of poverty, a lot of homelessness, not the best places in the world. And I want to also clarify, I'm not speaking from personal experience or stereotype. I do have family from both places. I also deal with clientele from Kenya on a weekly basis for my current employer. So I just want a quick disclaimer. This is not my opinion or anything I've experienced, just from family and clients I deal with on a week-to-week basis. The fourth and fifth countries are going to be India and Pakistan. Ghana, it's $36.02 for a pair of Nikes. Kenya, $38.35 for a pair of Nikes. In India, it's $47.34. Pakistan, $47.46. These are drastically cheaper, about half of what we pay in the United States. So for countries like India, massive population, massive digital infrastructure, massive online market, one of the most populous, dense places in the world, that does not surprise me at all, only because you send a shipment there and it's gone like that. But places like Pakistan, Jamaica, Iraq, Nigeria, these places that are kind of out of the beaten path and not the most populated, not the easiest to get to, not everybody's tourist destination. Ghana, Kenya, it surprised me they're so cheap. On the other end of the spectrum, the United States coming in at the $77 at the 42nd, we go to our friends to the east, the United Kingdom. They're paying $85 a shoe at 65th in the list. And then, we continue going up with the 76th on the list is South Africa, where the average is 90.6, and so $90.60 a shoe. I know a handful of people very well from South Africa that were born and raised there and lived about 20 to 30 years between the 7 different people I know in South Africa. And that place is very, very poverty-stricken. Lots of infrastructure, lots of jobs, lots of homelessness, and a lot of poverty as well. So with a place like that, I'm surprised to see it so expensive, especially with it being on the southern end of Africa. If things are being transported, it wouldn't, in my mind, be real hard to get there. So it does surprise me that it's so expensive. And now the reason for that could just be with the dangers of going to South Africa, whereas Ghana and Kenya I don't necessarily see as much associated risk. I also see, with there being a lack of high populace, the stuff they get is most likely not factory first, probably factory second stuff, and that's what I would take into account. We keep going through the list, and the most expensive Nike shoe is going to be in Iran. It's going to be another Middle Eastern country that's on the opposite end of the spectrum of all the other ones we've listed in this video, with $196.24 being the average Nike shoe. This is crazy to me that they would pay that much, but in a very war-torn Middle Eastern country, people not really wanting to go there, it doesn't surprise me that they're more expensive. It's just the how much more expensive. And then the last country that I am going to cover is Australia. It's where my future mother-in-law is from. She was born and raised there, and the average Nike in Australia is about $99 US. And now, everything said when it comes to getting things to the countries, the safety of the countries, it would also come down to how their dollar evaluates the US dollar. So, my grandfather, years and years and years ago, he currently owns 3.5 million Iraqi dinars. He bought it in the war right before the country collapsed for very, very little. Then the country collapsed and became worthless. He sold some of them off as souvenirs and stuff like that, and that's what he's kind of ended up with. But they're a worthless currency. So with Iran, they do not like Americans. So their valuation of the Iranian currency to the American dollar is not going to be linear. So that is one thing that could cause that high price. And the same could be with Kenya and Ghana. Now, if the United States dollar is worth a lot more or a lot less in those countries, it's going to fluctuate what the United States would be. Maybe 30 United States dollars in Ghana is worth, this is worth 70 Ghana dollars. I'm not quite sure what the currency they use. And the same could be said, maybe the 196 Iranian dollars is worth 70 American dollars. But those were the things that I'd come to first, is how easy is it to get to the country, how safe is it, and then what is the conversion rate. Thank you very much.